Anthology films usually have a theme binding them together. Creepshow was comprised of Stephen King stories. ABCs of Death had no boundaries, but had to contain death in some fashion. And Trilogy of Terror contained the same actress in multiple roles across different horror tales. In XX, the premise binding everything together is the fact that all the sequences were written and directed by women. The title being the chromosome determination for something sex being female. I've always felt that doing short films is insanely hard work because you're so limited by your runtime to really leave any impact. So these types of anthology films where the shorts are 20 minutes long, I find intriguing. If you can pull it off, it's mighty impressive. Even shorter films like He Took His Skin Off For Me do a hell of a lot in only 10 minutes. I also adore anthology flicks since even if one short doesn't catch your fancy, you've got another one right around the corner to attempt to entertain you. Luckily here, the collection of films starts off really good, with a twisted stop-motion animated segment that instantly gets you in the mood for some horror. These wee wraparound bits in between the segments are beautifully harrowing. Then it erupts out the frame with the best entry in the film's runtime, The Box, directed by Jovanka Vukovic.
Please, Danny, just take one bite.
No, thank you.
This has gone on long enough. Danny, God damn it, will you just eat?
I'm not hungry.
This is worth the price of admission alone. It's really bleak and chilling horror. It features a man who lets a young boy look into a box he's carrying. We don't see what's in it, but whatever it is, irreversibly changes him forever for the worst. Whoever the boy then tells what was in the box changes them in the same way and leads to a grim fate for all. It's a simple premise, but what sells it is how eerie the whole thing is. The visuals, music, atmosphere, it's all perfectly blended to crawl around your mind and creep you out. If you're a fan of something like The Killing of a Sacred Deer, then you're gonna be in heaven here, because it's the same dark, uncomfortable horror. It's a fantastic horror short, preying on our innate fear of the unexplained and how brittle the human psyche truly is. It instantly gets you hooked and in the right mindset for what's coming. The second segment was actually directed by Annie Clark, who you might know as the musician St. Vincent. Quality album, by the way. This one follows a woman who has arranged a birthday party for her daughter, only her husband dies right at the beginning. Not wanting to ruin the girl's big day, it follows her weekend at burying his corpse around to play off that he's still alive. It's strange when the opening tone is so dark that we diverged so quickly into horror comedy, but it's a pretty decent setup. What kills this one is the execution. Despite it clearly being played more for goofy laughs, it's still presented, shot and edited like a real horrifying tale. So the music will be super intense, strings going high as though it's a super serious issue, but it doesn't match well to what's happening on screen. It's awkward as a result and butchers the segment's attempts at both suspense and comedy. The ending is also so bizarrely out of place with the general atmosphere the short is going for, it just feels like a mess. The woman is also so nonchalant about her husband dropping dead too. She just kinda shrugs it off and goes, "Gosh darn it, look what you've done, gone and died." There's nothing terrible, but just poorly executed. Coming off the stellar opening segment too, this one just feels a little confused. The third segment is Don't Fall by Roxanne Benjamin, who right now is actually writing the upcoming remake of the cult classic Night of the Comet. This one is a creature feature, following a group of pals out in the desert. They come across some cave paintings which warn them not to be on the land, and then a dark spirit possesses one of the women and goes on a rampage. It's a neat little monster mash, and the creature is awesome. It's a deformed anorexic hellbeast that snaps and crackles. For such a low budget, the effects are actually pretty good, and there's some real impressive stunt work. There's not much to this one though. It's just a monster that kills a bunch of people and then it ends. There's nothing else to really dissect. It lacks any real lasting value, but has a really cool looking monster and gives you some gory highlights. Perfectly serviceable, if highly forgettable.
Love you, Mom.
The fourth segment was directed by the most well-known director of the bunch, Karen Kusama, who you'll probably know for Jennifer's Body and The Invitation. This is also the third short to feature a mother as a central character. It's also the longest of the 4 shorts, focusing on a mother who has a curiously disturbed teenage son. We discover they are on the run from various groups of people, and as we learn more about their situation, the dark gospel about his true nature is revealed. It's probably the most professional and high-budgeted of the lot, with some real good acting and feeling much more like a complete experience rather than a short one. It's a slow-paced horror drama focusing on the unravelling of truth with the son and what the mother's intentions are. Some of the scenes with the mum and son are impressively tense. It's a little predictable and the ending's abrupt, but it's got a haunting mood and a decent little mystery.
Every now and then, someone crosses our path who will change the world as we know it. Andy is one of those people. I hope you will support all of our efforts to protect what makes him so very special.
XX is really hit or miss, but it's also extremely varied. We got a haunting abstract horror, a horror comedy, a creature feature, and a dramatic short tale. Considering you only have 15 to 20 minutes tops in here to introduce a story and then end it, the lack of substance is expected. It's not the strongest anthology, but it's still good for a night you want to soak in some spooky vibes and enjoy some quick little horror tales from a few of my mind. Personally, I think it's worth your time just for the box alone.